morning, I'm Keith with On Target Canada. Today we're back here with Stu in his shop. Stu, we pulled out one of the rifles that we fired a little while ago. And unlike the bigger, odd to say bigger with 5.56, but unlike the full rifle caliber, this is the 9mm carbine version of the AR platform. Can you just give us a little bit of information about it, and then we'll take a look at it in detail, because you said there are some differences between this and the 5.56.
Sure, no problem. Again, like with the rifle cartridge component partner, I guess, your brother, cousin, it looks exteriorly the same, but since it's 9mm, doesn't have a locked breech like your 5.56 would with a rotary bolt. So this is what they call the closed bolt blowback system. So with the bolt closed, the hammer will go forward, firing pin will hit the primer of the cartridge, it'll detonate, and since there's no lock system, it'll just completely go back to the rear, and then cycle forward again, pick up a cartridge, cock the action, and you're ready to go. So it's a whole lot simpler system to work with. Right,
so unlike the other blowback 9mm systems, the firing pin is not permanently exposed, thus the bolt closes and just sits there until you pull the trigger.
Exactly, and again, there are some differences with this 9mm bolt versus the 5.56, where how they dealt with the firing pin situation.
Okay, any other external differences between this and the bigger ones?
No, if you know how to use this, you know how to use the other ones. The main difference is actually on the right side, where you have your ejection port cover is a partial one, because you have this right here. A lot of people think this is a deflector for cases, but this is actually what they call a gas deflector, because again, it's open, it's a closed bolt, doesn't lock, so your dwell times are completely different, and you have a tendency to have your burnt gases go back into the shooter's face. So this here stops the gas from going right to the shooter's face and diverts it slightly away from them.
I also noticed another difference is there is no forward assist on this either.
Exactly, no need for that either.
Excellent. So again, it's basically set up in a C8 type of platform, shorter foregrip, short barrel, collapsible butt, and we'll take a look at it on the inside as well.
Sure.
Okay, we're back with the 9mm carbine. We're going to take a look at how it comes apart and some of the differences between it and the 5.56. Stu, she's all yours.
Okay, great. Well, she's clear. Put it on safe. Take it apart as per any other rifle of the AR variant, but as pull out the bolt, you notice I said bolt, not bolt carrier, because this is where the biggest difference is. The bolt carrier, or bolt, has your breech face on it, versus an AR-15, where your bolt carrier carries the bolt itself. And because of that, we have some other relatable differences as well.
Right. What are the other differences that you find?
The other big difference is with the firing pin. Your firing pin has a spring on it. Unlike your AR-15s, is a free-floating firing pin. You can shake it and hear the firing pin move backwards and forwards. They had to put this in to ensure that when the bolt slams forward, that you don't get a pre-detonation. Because with your 9mm bolt, you actually have a large weight in the center, unlike you would with the bolt carrier of your AR-15. Another difference you have is with your return spring assembly and buffer. Your return spring and buffer looks generally the same from the front to the spring, but you have this little tab here on the very back. It's basically a spacer. And what happens is that if without the spacer in, the bolt actually will go back further than it needs to, and that causes some problems with reliability, because it'll travel too far, you get too much momentum as it goes forward.
So there are some significant design changes. It's not just a recaliber, rebarreling of it. There's actually other changes that
exactly
as well.
And I think the last change that they had to do was with magazine well. They put a block in there so that your magazine can fit in and you have your feed lips here, and you have yourself a longer longer finger for your bolt stop or your bolt catch.
Right, excellent. So let's put this one together.
Sure. One of the other things that they did to simplify it is that the original 9mm carbines had a different hammer assembly, but they decided to go with the standard AR-15 hammer and trigger assembly just to make life easier. Also, the pins are stainless steel instead of being the regular steel that they use. They found that using the other ones would break and fracture because of it's got a higher impulse than the 223s.
Because I think people forget that even though the 9mm is a less powerful round than the 5.56, it is a bigger round and it is a heavier round as well.
Sure. And again, you can see here, the breech face is actually a whole lot closer to the ejection port than you would on your regular firearm.
And from there on, she just goes together like a standard AR.
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, Stu, thank you very much for showing us.
No problem. Have a good day.